hat, Chicago style, right there. Off to the side just a little bit. You like that? Yep. Got that hat going just like that, right there. California style like this, because they don't know how to wear hats in California. No, they don't. This is kind of Popeye Doyle, New York style. Kind of Popeye Doyle from The French Connection. Great movie. Hey, we are back with you on thepowerofvoices.com. I love that intro music. Thank you very much, Lee, back at the studio. The Brown Beauty is back on duty. Jesse Terrero with you, broadcasting live from our mobile platform. We're doing what we do here to make it happen. And, of course, we're at www.thepowerofvoices.com. We're also on facebook.com/thepowerofvoices. And we're also on facebook.com/ The Jesse T Show or Jesse Terrero. You can check us out on YouTube Live as well on the Power of Voices, as well as we Snapchat and Instagram after the show. And sometimes we're on live stream and Periscope, but today we aren't. But we are broadcasting out on Bamboozle, UPeak, Ustream, and a few others as well. It's good to have you back with us. It is a Jesse T Show. Yeah, sporting a hat today. I'm going to take it off. I just like the hat, you know. I think I am definitely going to start wearing my hat kind of Chicago style, right? Like that. That's New York too, but you know, they really kind of perfected that in kind of Chicago. I don't know why I kicked off to the side. Maybe going back to the Al Capone days. Remember that? You probably don't. I don't either, but he kind of wore his hat like that. Chicago is a whole nother kind of town. It's nothing like New York or Boston or Philadelphia or Jersey. It is a whole different kind of set of rules going on in Chicago. Let me tell you, I was born there. And whole different game. And, of course, this is the California style with the brim all the way down. The reason for that is to keep the sun out of the eyes. I think it has maybe a little Spanish flair to it of the big sombrero, you know, in the Southwest and the North and Southwest here. They had that big sombrero because they kept the hat, the dust and the heat from hitting the face all the time. And that's what that was all about. But, yeah, I'm going to take the hat off today and show everybody that I do have a head of hair. Yes, I do. It's kind of messed up, but, you know, hey, you got the gray flying here and the gray flying here. Some people say, you know, I think maybe I should use some Grecian Formula 44. What do you think? You think I should darken it up a little bit? Maybe a little dark at here, you know, a little dark here, or should I just let the salt and pepper look go? What do you think about that? Let me know. Hey, as you chime in, saying hello to Reverend James Stern, our buddy Reverend James Stern, interesting guy. He's always been on the right side of fighting good causes, and he's got a new movie that a major motion picture studio bought from him, all about the KKK. Now, we're not talking about today's KKK. We're talking about the KKK when it was, you know, really bad in this century. Actually, in the 20th century, when it was really, really bad. Reverend James Stern had the chance and opportunity as he was improperly incarcerated in a southern state, and he was put in the jail cell with the not founding member of the KKK, but certainly a gentleman that ran the KKK for pretty much the whole 20th century. And they became friends. For some reason, the guy just befriended James, and he told him all the secrets and everything, and diaries, and took copious notes. And so he's got a terrific movie that's going to be coming out in about a year or two. So, you know, congratulations to James. You got to tell that story, and, you know, I'll help you fight that cause when that time comes up, my friend. All right, thanks all for chiming in with us. Saying hi to Stefan Anang, and I hope I got that right. You like those glasses, huh? You like those glasses? Yes, those are my tiger stripe glasses. Yeah, they're kind of cool. You know, I got leopard stripe, tiger stripe. I got lion striped. I got zebra striped. I even got some candy cane striped glasses to wear at Christmas time. Actually, you really want to know what it is? I just pick up any pair of glasses that are around me that make my eyes see better. Half the time, I have no idea what I'm putting on my face until I realize I'm probably putting girly glasses on, or I'm putting, weird looking glasses on, and I just kind of like that anyway. But thanks all for joining us today. You're entering the world according to Torero, and you're going to get straight on the point live at 5. We got a lot to cover, though. I do want to give a promo coming up here at the end of the week. Comedian Gil Fajardo is going to be checking in. He's been all over the circuit and TV. He's me on our Fun Time Friday show at 5 o'clock. He's a funny guy. We want you to tune in and chime in and hang out with Gil Fajardo and us here at the Jesse T Show. We'll be live in the studio then. Also, another wonderful person is checking in on Thursday. Margarita. Margarita is a professional woman's bodybuilder. She just won a championship in the IPL too. This woman is such an inspiration. She is so wonderful. I mean, really, her story is compelling. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you will never guess how old this lady is. I'll give you a hint. She's not 17 and she's not 100. But she is in such terrific condition, both in the heart and in the mind and in her physical being. It's just unbelievable. And we're so proud to bring her in and talk about her powerlifting and bodybuilding and nutrition and health. And more importantly, the impassioned story she has about where she was and how she got to where she is. And I mean, we're talking about Rocky here all the way. Rocky all the way. So that's going to be cool. We want you to check it out. She's on our timeline, and we're promoting her on the timeline for Thursday. Now, Wednesday, we have Real Estate Wednesday checking in. Hey, saying hi to Craig Powers over there in Arizona. What a great song that was back in maybe the early 1970s. I like that song, One Hit Wonder. Anyhow, Craig Powers is checking in with us, and we're going to be doing Real Estate Wednesday. It's the 4 F's of success, right? Find them, flip them, fix them, and fly to another one. Find them, flip them, fix them, and fly to another one. Find them, fix them, flip them, fly to another one. The 4 F's of absolute wealth. And so you can enjoy the elite 1%, darling dear. Yeah, so we got that tomorrow on Wednesday, Real Estate Wednesday, talking about all of that. So I've got a model, a perfect formula for you to be able to make that happen, as well as some other things. I will be taking your questions. So always you can call in when I'm in studio at 424-227-6491. And we invite you to make those calls in tomorrow. If you have any real estate questions or loan questions, I'd be happy to answer all those questions. And if I don't know something, I've been doing this for 40 years, but
what was that number again?
That's 424-227-9461. Did I get that right, Lee?
Yeah, you got it right that time.
Did I juxtapose a number?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, which one did I blow up this one? The first one, the middle one, or the last one?
9641.
Oh, 9641. So it's 424-227-9641.
No, 9461.
Okay, so it's 424-227-9614. No,
that's close enough.
424-227-9164.
No. 424.
Why is it so hard for me?
227 9461. Call now to win.
Oh, now I can do it. All right. I got it now. 424-227-9461. Call in to win. You'll be my 46th caller. And for that, you'll win a whole family pack of White Castle hamburgers. That's right. 493 of them cooked to your choice and the way you like it, because we do it great at White Castle. And thanks for hooking us up, White Castle, at thepowervoices.com. But wait, there is more. Along with those White Castle burgers, you're going to get Lee, Baby Michaels, dressed in a big yellow clown outfit with a big red nose. And every time you poke him in the nose, he goes, yes, but wait, there is more. Yes, of course, you get Jesse T, me, live in person. What can I tell you?
You won't have to poke me in the nose to get those after eating White Castles.
I know. You do. That's why I threw it in there, because I've had those, man, and boy, they go through you. But all right, so much for that fun. I will tell you something before we jump into the show and get head first into it. Yesterday, over the weekend, I happened to be in Oxnard, California, watching my daughter, the professional soccer player, when she's in off season. She is coaching, and she coaches several teams, and she's one of the best coaches. And she had one of her teams are little 10-year-old girls, and she was coaching these girls, and they won their championship game. So we were in Oxnard, and it was just terrific fun. It's just flashback memories to when my daughter was 10 years old playing soccer, right? So I'm out there watching her, and Mama T's out there with me, and we're having a good time. And so what happened was, after we kind of left, got something to eat, they went on their way, I decided to take a veer left and go to the Point Hueneme Naval Base, because right by the naval base was KACY radio. Now, I don't know if you've ever done this, Lee, when you've traveled across the country, or you've gone back to old radio stations, especially the AM stations that you used to work at that are no longer there. The only thing that's stand are the antenna, right? And so I couldn't find it, and I did afternoon drive there, middays, and I did nights, and I was also the last English voice to be heard on KACY, and then they went Spanish on the AM signal, 50,000 watt directional signal, and so at night would be broadcasting to all the farmers in the strawberry patches in the daytime, and at nighttime we'd be broadcasting to the fishes. and so. So I went looking for the station. What an adventure. I couldn't find it. I was looking for the 3 antennae in the sky. And I finally found those, and I drove past it, and I said, wait a minute, this is not what I remember, right? And so I went up there used to be a gravel driveway. So I went up the driveway, and sure enough, the old building was there, KACY. That was a big station too, because at that time, you launched yourself into Los Angeles by paying the dues and singing the blues up and down the small market coast, and the medium market coast here in California. And those stations on the west side of Southern California, or Los Angeles, were stations like KIST in Santa Barbara, KACY in Oxnard or Ventura. These were the stations that launched you into Los Angeles radio. And on the east side, it was stations like KFXM in San Bernardino. That's the station that Craig Powers programmed. KMEN in San Bernardino, Riverside, that is. And on the sort of southeast side was Anaheim. Anaheim used to be its own radio station marketplace. They had Arbitron rated. They were separate from LA and separate from San Diego at that time. And there were stations. The big station there was KEZY. Now, I happened to work at all of these stations at some point or another, and they were all AM stations. And so none of them is there. KEZY is gone. That's not, it used to be on Ball Road. That's tore down. A big warehouse is there. And KFXM is gone. That was in the Holiday Inn in San Bernardino. KMEN transmitter site is still there with the building behind San Gregorio High School, but no, it's like a big weed patch, just the transmitters there. And so I went looking for KACY, and I came on the old building, and it's part house, and I think it's part transmitter. So I spoke to the guy in some Spanish as best I could, and he didn't want to let me in, to check it out. But I walked around the building. He let me walk around everything. And so I put that up on the timeline. It's interesting adventures there. The adventures all in the day of the life of Jesse Terrero. Okay, so let's jump into this right now. I've got back at the studio, I've got Lee checking down something from Bruce Springsteen that I wanted to talk about. But before I do that, I wanted to talk about something that.
What helps keep this small business moving forward?
I don't know.
Customizable
what do we got going here? We got volume going here that shouldn't be going. Doesn't that drive you crazy when that happens? When you get volume on something and you don't want it to happen? Okay, there we go. Okay. So anyway, 30 people were arrested for food stamp fraud. 30 people. 30 people. Now, you heard me talk about this pre-election, that 109 million people in this country are being assisted by the government in some way, fashion, or form. And food stamps is one of the largest portions of that assistance, and of course housing. But 30 people were arrested for food stamp fraud. Now, that really bugs the heck out of me. That just happened, a couple of days ago. And the reason why that bothers me is because what they do is they take the food stamps or the EBT stuff and they somehow figure out a way to defraud the United States government. In other words, they're essentially taking the food out of the mouths of people that really need them. And that is taking our money because we support all that in our taxes. And it bothered me so much. And I read this article, and I got to tell you something. It's bad enough that if you have to be on assistance on a program of any nature, it's bad enough that we Americans have to pay for all this. 109 million people are on assistance programs in this country right now today. 109 million. That's a third of the population of America. It's not a Democrat thing, and it's not a Republican thing. It's a thing, okay? There's a reason for it, but it's a thing, all right? The bottom line is that 30 people were just arrested. And here's something that you probably are thinking about right now, because I know how your mind thinks. I understand how the mind thinks with some people. 30 people were arrested. And guess what? None of them were Hispanic. None. Not a one. And guess what? None of them were Asian. None of them were indigenous people. Guess what? None of them were black. Not one. Not one. They were all white, trailer trash, scumbag pieces of low-life carnage. I hate those people. I do. They were all white. Did you know that most of the people on assistance programs in this country are not black, and they are not Hispanic or Latino? They are not Asian. They're white. White. White folks. Now, I don't know about you, but that really bothers me. And I'll tell you why it really bothers me. Here's why. Because white folks complain so much about black people. I'm just calling it like I know it. Can't help but being me, Jesse T. White folks are always pointing the finger at black folks, at Latinos. Not so many Asians, but indigenous people if you live in that part of the country. The hypocrisy of it all drives me insane. I think that they should take every one of these 30 people arrested and they should put them in a cell and starve them. Put them on a massive anorexic diet. It is so wrong. And it is so wrong that we as a country, as a culture, as Americans, immediately think, I know how your mind was. I know where your mind went. And don't you tell me it didn't. You think, oh my goodness, it's all those people, Black Lives Matter. And I'm not a big Black Lives Matters guy. I think they're communists, okay? I can't stand them, okay? At all. They're no better than the KKK as far as I'm concerned. But, we think, Black Lives Matter, all those people rioting in Cleveland and all those people rioting in Oakland and all those people out there and all those people. And we think that these are black folks. Not a one of them. Now, what does that say? That tells you very clearly that you need to look at yourself in the mirror. And you need to ask yourself before you start spouting off at the mouth and pointing the finger. You need to ask yourself whether you're white, black, brown, Asian, or indigenous. You need to ask yourself, hey, I got to get the information before I start running off with the mouth. See, that's what's wrong with our society today. People, they run off with the mouth without knowing anything. This is what they got for brains. That sounds like a radio transmitter when it goes off the air, an AM radio transmitter. FM goes, AM goes, that's what it sounds like. They ain't got nothing going on. And yet they're running off with the mouth. Before you start pointing the finger and before you start accusing, before you start saying something about somebody else, before you start having those feelings that probably were placed there by your upbringing or were placed there by something that happened in your life that aren't necessarily true, blue, that's for sure. You got to think about it. You got to do some homework. You got to do some research. That's why I don't get along with all these protesters, because they're just a bunch of airheads. With some professional protesters that can pay $1,500 a week backed by George Soros. Just to be rebel rousers to get the crowd going. Because people are like sheeples. That's sheep and people together. Think about that one. You know how one little shepherd's dog, one little sheepdog, can control 500 sheep? Because he nips them at the feet, pushes them this way, barks at them, challenges the male sheep, which is a ram, challenges them, boom, 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 then moves them this way. But yet you don't know who's controlling that sheepdog. It's the shepherd on the hill with special whistles and special sounds that only the dog can hear. Special waves by the hand that only the dog can see. The sheep are too stupid. And that's what we are like. We're like a bunch of sheeple. You get some people rebel rousing out there, and the rest of the sheeple will follow because they don't do their homework. They don't do the research. They run off with the mouth. They go, right? And nothing in the head. And the few that do have something in the head get lost in the carnage of all the people that don't have anything in the head. So when I saw this 30 people being arrested for food stamps, food stamp fraud, it got me really mad. I got a little perturbed by it. Yeah, it ruffled Jesse T's feathers a little bit. Because how dare they take something that we provide as a citizenry, something the government provides in food, we're trying to help, and these people are ripping off the system. They are worse than bad. They are worse than bad. Because they're taking food and money from both ends of the stick. Food from the people that need it, and money from the people that are providing it. And the fact that they're all white, how dare you ever point the finger at anybody that's a different color than you until you do your friggin' homework. So that's what I got to say about that. And you're straight on the point right there. The Jesse T Show, Monday through Friday, right here, 5 to 6. Thanks for chiming in so far. We got Tony Santiago chiming in. Thanks a lot, Tony. I appreciate that. Do we have that Bruce Springsteen hooked up yet, Lee? Check in with me when you have it hooked up. Either text me or let me know. That way, then I'll know to go to that.
Can't find it.
All right, you can't find it?
No, I'm on the right page, but I don't see that particular cut.
Okay, it's probably down. It's on Facebook.com/the Coalition Against Human Trafficking. As you know, I am one of the directors of the Coalition Against Human Trafficking here in Los Angeles. CAHT, caught with my partner Cindy Sauer. We fight human trafficking. We fight pimps, and it is escalating again now. We knocked it down We were knocking it down, but our so-called wonderful politicians here in the state of California, especially in the city of Los Angeles, have decided that they want to earmark those funds that they were doing and directing to that to other reasons that seem to be more important to them. I don't know what can be more important than having children kidnapped and raped and beat up and sodomized and destroyed for the rest of their lives, maybe even murdered and killed, and never see their parents again. I don't know what can be more important than that, Mayor Garcetti. I don't know what can be more important than that, Chief Charlie Beck. I don't know what can be more important than that, Governor Brown. I guess nothing's important about that because the Proposition 57 passed here in the state of California, which now allows human traffickers and rapists and pimps and these disgusting people, assault and battery murderers and violent criminal, awful people. Sometimes the words just, I can't find the words to fit some of these people. They're going to get knocked down to nonviolent crimes, which eventually get them kicked out of jail and back on the street. Just like 47 took nonviolent, turned it down to misdemeanor. So we're going to have a bunch of murderers and rapists and human traffickers, and just because they had good behavior in the jail system, in the prison system here in California. Thank you very much, citizens of the state of California. You voted. And thank you very much. I guess you didn't know what you were voting for. I hope that a murderer and a rapist and a human trafficker doesn't move by you and take your son or your daughter or your wife, or maybe even you, buddy boy, and take you and knock you on the head and turn you out. Okay? Because essentially that's what we've done. We've done that. Essentially that's what we've done. And so, Mayor Garcetti in his infinite demonic wisdom, I'm not a big Mayor Garcetti lover, believe me. Mayor Garcetti decided, and the city council, they're the other group. The 14 heads of the city council, they're the other group here in the city of Los Angeles. They've just decided to earmark money and funds for other reasons. But the only one that does stand tall and shout it out is Nury Martinez in Council Seat 6, CD6. She is a woman of great merit. She should be knighted. She's like the knight on a white horse that comes in to save the day with the sword and the shield, whacking away. Nury Martinez has done an exemplary job. She is a leader nationwide in this, in CD6 here in the city of Los Angeles. She's about the only one that finds it appalling and does everything she can to earmark funds. But, she's only one person on the city council, so they can only do so much, and we support her all the time. And once again, people not understanding what they're reading or not doing their research to come together with the knowledge they need to do in order to make the right decision about things. If you didn't really study the propositions and you went in there and just voted off the little 4 or 5 line, 6 line blurb that you got when you got your card and your little booklet when you stuck the card in, you had no idea what the proposition was about. You needed to read the cons and pros about these things because 57 passed. And so with that, we have more people on the street creating more criminal activity. All because, once again, the sheeple didn't know what they were doing. Or if they did, and the people actually did vote for that, and they knew, then suffer the consequences. And I don't think you'll be reaping any rewards from these horrendous, horrible varmints. I know what I'm doing. I'm packing sweet Jesus with me. And I'm not going to tell you who sweet Jesus is. Thank you very much. All right, so I wanted to talk about, as we move on, and you're straight on the point on that, remember, we have to do our homework and we got to research about things. Saying hi to all the gang who's on with us. I appreciate that. And remember, check us out every Monday through Friday from 5 to 6 right here on the Jesse T Show, where you enter my world according to Torero and you get straight on the point. And always remember, you can have your opinion, and I'd love to hear you chime in on it and express it here. I'll read it right on the air because we're on the air and everywhere from the community to the world. We're broadcasting right here to thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people all over God's blue-green earth. And we'd love to hear what you have to say about some of the topics we're talking about today. The Brown Beauty is on duty. Jesse Torero with you. Good to have you along with us. And remember now, tomorrow we've got some great programming coming in. We've got, going to show you how to make some money on Real Estate Wednesday. But in lieu of that, I wanted to talk about money. And I wanted to talk about why we as a culture are hurting for money, even though we are working so much more than ever before. We as a culture are working 2 and 3 jobs. My father, he came out of Chicago. I won't tell you what he did in Chicago. He was a waiter, and he was the head of the waiters union. Okay? He came out of Chicago, came here to Hollywood or LA, and got a job in the movie industry. And he worked in the movie industry then for 37 years. And my grandfather worked in the movie industry for 51 years. He was a truck driver, long-haul truck driver. So they essentially got to work at one job, one place for the rest of their lives as adults. They got a full pension, full medical. They got most of their salary coming back to them in their retirement. They had investments that the union did, very strong union at that time. And so people of that timeline, they actually had the opportunity to stay in one place and get employed. But we, the baby boom generation, and the generations now after, we, in order to maintain a quality of life or a better quality of life than our fathers and our grandfathers coming out of World War II, we have had to take on more jobs. And of course, women now, all want to work and break the glass ceiling. They don't care about raising the babies at home. And then we wonder why our baby boom generation got into drugs and got into alcohol and got into free sex and got into, all that crazy hippie lifestyle. We wonder why they rebelled against society during the 1950s and 1960s, because moms were taken out of the house and encouraged to go work. I don't really care whether it's mom or dad. Somebody's got to stay home and raise the babies. Because when the babies aren't being raised by someone who made the babies, who loves the babies, then the babies get kind of tweaked out. They get weird. Because then TV raises them. Who else raises them? The neighborhood raises them. Yeah, the peer groups, their kids, their buddies raise them. Okay? And they get warped. And so, that's kind of what happened to us. A lot of my friends got warped and twisted. I mean, they were smoking pot when they were 9, 10, 12 years old. I mean, it was unbelievable, the things that they were doing, all right? And I would go back and I'd tell my mom and dad, and we'd just roll our eyes. But here's the point. The point is work, 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 okay? And we were enslaved as a population, white, black, brown, Asian, and indigenous. We were all enslaved to work more and make more and work more and make more and work more and make more and get another job and another job, because we wanted the new cars, we wanted the big pool, we wanted the huge house, we wanted the big TVs, we wanted the new color TVs, we wanted the big stereos, we wanted the clothes, we wanted the shoes, we wanted all these things. We want. I have to have it. That's the way it is. I want. Well, folks, a lot of those desires, those wants, needs, and desires were fabricated by us as we were growing up, targeted to us to create those wants, needs, and desires, which are really false. Because when it comes down to it, at the end of your life, really what you have is you'll be lucky if you can look up to the heavens with your boots off and a smile on your face, with a few people around you that love you tremendously, and a few friends that love you. For the most part, You're going to be alone when that happens, because we all are, because that's the way it is. So if you look at that from the end goal and you work backwards, then really do you need, want, and desire all those things that you want, need, and desire? Everybody wants the Ferrari and the Bugatti. Absolutely. Everybody wants the Lambo, and everybody wants a 150,000 square foot house for $125 million that just sold here in Los Angeles. Everybody wants that. Yeah, okay. All right, that's great, fine and dandy. But you know something? They put their pants on the same way you do, and they die the same way you do, and they live the same way you do. But they don't realize it, okay? And we don't realize it either. So we create credit debt, and we create debt situations which cause us to have no money at all. In fact, we owe money we don't even have. And so that's kind of what happened for the last 40, 50, 60 years after World War II, in a nutshell. We created lots of debt for ourselves. So we basically didn't have to enslave us. We enslaved ourselves. We did a pretty darn good job at it. I mean, we enslaved ourselves tremendously, completely, with a ball and chain and shackled to the taskmaster, because the taskmaster is a creditor, right? So we did a good job with that. All right, so this is why we all have to work so much. Work. Work. Okay? Work. And then when you can't work anymore, you got to work some more. All right? So what I did today, I decided I wanted to go and look at the U.S. debt clock. Okay? And this is really interesting. It's an interesting website that I'm going to tell you about. Hopefully I can see it because it's so small. It's called the U.S. National Debt Clock in real time. All right, so I'm going to turn my other iPad sideways here. All right, this is the debt, and this is in real time. Okay, this is the real debt ticking away. Okay, it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. If you've never been to this website, you got to go and check it out. It is a mind-boggling experience to look at the U.S. debt clock. Okay, the U.S. national debt is $19,821,350,000,000. 583,000. Wait a minute, 619,220, 723,600, wait a minute, 810,600, and wait a minute, 863,000, wait a minute, 900,000, and wait a second, 19,821,351,000,000. 821,351,000,000, 30,000. Wait a minute. 90,000. Wait, I can't keep up with it. Do you realize what I just did there? I can't keep up with it. I can't say the numbers. By the time I say the numbers, we spent another $1 million. That means every citizen in the United States of America owes the United States government $61,007. The debt per taxpayer is $165,905. That's because spouses pay taxes together. We are spending 118% over what we're making. Okay, so this is how fast we're spending money. We're spending money. It's $3,884,738,843. Wait, 910. Wait. 3,884,739,000,000. 63 thought. Wait a minute. 93 thought. Wait a minute. 106. Wait. You see what I just did again? We're spending more money than I can speak it. This is the revenue that the United States government is bringing in. 3,294,998,000. Wait a minute. 3,294,236,000,48. Wait a minute. 60. Wait a minute. We're not taking in enough money against a $19 million national debt. I mean, are you getting something here? Okay. Wait. So far, the United States government has taken in $1,567,337,414,426. Wait a minute, 500 that's how much money the United States has taken in income tax so far this year. Okay. All right. Okay. The amount of money that we make is about $19 trillion. The amount of money we spend is about $23 trillion. Oh boy. Yeah, I think you're getting it, right? I think you're getting it. Okay? All right, so this is a mind blower right here. I love this one. People not in the labor force. These were people working, but they're not in the labor force anymore, and they're not getting unemployment. These are real numbers, folks. This isn't election campaign silliness. These are real numbers. I'm reading it as it's going. Number not in the labor force, 94,615,580 people are not in the U.S. labor force. That's almost a third of the population aren't working. Full-time workers, 124,286,214 full-time workers. Private sector jobs, 120,256,742 private sector jobs. Okay. You kind of getting the picture a little bit here of what's happening? Hey, Rona Mona. What's happening, Rona Mona? Mwah. Love you too, darling dear. Darling dear, my Rona Mona. I love you so. You make me grown-a my Rona Mona. And can I borrow some money and get a loan from Rona? Yeah. Yeah. I know you love my singing voice. Come on now. Anita Pointer said I had a great singing voice. All right. Let's just look at some more numbers here. I don't think we need any more numbers. I think you get what I'm saying. We're in a whole heap of trouble, guys. A whole heap of trouble. I don't care what Trump says. I don't even care what he does. We are in a heap of mess-a-doo-doo. Big time. Big time. All right. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about that is because I wanted to talk about how you can hedge the bet and save your family. Because when our economy explodes into oblivion, when it ends, when the complete breakdown and disaster of the United States economy takes place, if you aren't prepared, you're going to be in some whole heap of hurt. And nobody is going to come to your rescue. In fact, the United States government was going to nationalize all your safety deposit box. So if you think you've got something in the safety deposit box, you better get it out. They're going to nationalize all your money, your savings accounts, your checking accounts, your 401ks, your CDs, your IRAs, your bonds, your municipalities. They're going to nationalize everything because the government will stay in business. They don't care about you. Let's talk about real things. Let's talk about the real deal right now. They don't care about you. Okay? They never have, and they never will. What they do care about is being able to do the things they want to do. That's what they do care about. So, I'm going to give you a couple of ways here that you can save some money. Now, I got to have my trusty light here because I can't see without my light. But I'm going to read some things here. So the light's not so good in here. So I'm going to read some stuff here. All right. So now, look at. You're straight on the point again that we are not making enough money in this country to cover our rear ends. That's why they keep printing dollars. That's why they took us off the silver and gold standard. This is why they did that, so that they could print more dollars. Okay? That's what they wanted to do, because they knew they wanted to overspend beyond their budget. So I'm going to give you 9 things and that I think you need to do. 9 tips that I think you need to do. Now, this comes from a buddy of mine. His name is Porter Stansberry. And Porter Stansberry has written lots of books, economic books. And one of the books that I've been reading is this book here, America 2020. It has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with economics and a plan to take care of yourself and your family, okay? So as we talk about money, as we talk about wealth and how to join the social elite, first we got to figure out how to protect ourselves. Because if you can't take care of the home front, you can't get out there and do nothing. Are we in agreement? Does that make sense? All right. So I like what Porter Stansberry says here, okay? He's got 9 keys to survive a currency crisis, and this is what we're talking about. It's a currency crisis. We actually have the old misery index going again. The old misery index is when there's very little to tough growth, very little growth that we have, like we have right now, in terms of our economics, and the conditions that create social unrest. Well, we've got massive social unrest, and we have very little economic growth. Have you ever given it any thought that all these people that are protesting, why aren't they working on the job? Why aren't they working? What are they out there walking the streets for, and in some cities burning trash cans in cars and breaking police car windows? Why aren't they working? What's up with that? It's because with the low economic expansion that we've had, yeah, more jobs, but everybody has to work 3 jobs now, 4 jobs. With the low economic expansion we all have, it creates social unrest because there's less jobs. And with the jobs going overseas, there's less jobs. And after all, how many McDonald's and pet stores can you work at? Okay, see, that's the thing. We're back to the misery index of the 1990s. What's happening, Evelyn? Yes, Evelyn Shastas is with us. I like that name, Shastas. Very nice. Hey, good to have you along. Thanks for chiming in. Where are you checking in from? All right, so I'm going to give you 9 elements now, 9 things to survive a total absolute collapse of the monetary and currency system in America. And we're on the verge of it. I just went over the debt clock. Now, come on, folks. I just went over the debt clock. Okay? We can't be taxed enough. We cannot tax our way out of it. Can't do it. The only way that we can get out of it is to have a war. We need to have a couple of good wars. We need to put some people back to work. We need to do the draft again. We need to put some guns in people's hands and let them go kill people around the world so we can create more bullets and we can blow up some more ships and destroy some more tanks and we can build them all over again. We need another World War III. That's what we need. Well, it's not going to happen because if it was a World War III like World War II or World War I, human beings would probably not exist anymore after that, except the elite, which have these deep, deep underground military bases. And that's for another show. I'm going to show some of that stuff off. But you and I aren't going there. So we'd probably all die. The world would cease to exist. But we can have lots of little wars. So let's have some more little wars in the Middle East. Let's have some wars in the South China Sea. And I think we need to have some wars in this hemisphere, like down, well, we'll call them the drug wars. We'll fight all the cartels. So we'll have some wars there. And let's have some more wars. Where else can we have some more wars? We need to kill some more people. Let's see. There's not enough tsunamis in the world to kill people. There are not enough hurricanes and tornadoes and earthquakes. Well, let's change the climate and destroy the land, destroy and toxify the water, create GMO seeds, create lots of biopharmaceuticals so that we fill our bodies full of toxins and carcinogens, and then we just get well enough to get sick enough, just to get well enough to get sick enough. And we destroy the organs in our body because they're like acid eating metal when we take these things over and over and over for years. So let's do that. Let's create some more disease programs, like let's bring malaria back. Yeah, we got to exacerbate the AIDS thing, that's for sure. And we got to create some more exotic diseases and infiltrate Africa. We need to kill some more Africans. We haven't killed enough of them. Oh, we can't forget about the South Americans. We got to kill some of them too. Yeah, we got to kill them too. We need to have wars all over the planet, just little wars. Yeah, I like that idea. Because we can't tax our way out of it. We can fight our way out of it. Food for thought, huh? Food for thought. Peace and love ain't going to do it. Peace and love, even with Trump or Clinton, Mr. Magoo or Snagglepuss or Captain Crunch, ain't going to do it. We are in major economic and currency monetary extremes. All right? So, what do? Well, you bring jobs back to America. That's what you do. So Ford has decided to keep their truck building factory in America. And you tax the heck out of everybody who takes their jobs out of the country. They can't. But when they bring their stuff back, you tax the heck out of them. All right? What you do is you create a sovereign nation again. And whatever that means, create a sovereign nation with borders. All right? That's what you do. You re-educate our system. Re-educate our youth for the next generation. That's what you do. We are number one, and everybody else is last. That's what you do. Okay? All right. That's one way. But I suggest, no matter what you do this. You better put it together to survive. Because when it falls and goes to economic and currency and monetary disaster, it's going to happen globally. And it won't happen just in America. It will be everywhere. Where your money, your paper money, will be worthless. Your coins will be worthless. It's that simple. Worth nothing. That means no water, no food, no power, no electricity, no medicine, no doctors, no nothing. It's that simple. And that's on its way. When is it going to happen? I don't know. But we can't keep going the way we're going unless you do a couple of things. Bring us back to the gold standard. It's not going to happen. Bring us back to the silver standard. It's not going to happen because then you're going to wipe out a lot of paper debt that has been created over the last 50 years. Not going to happen. Okay? So you better cover your rear. 9 steps to survive a currency crisis. Just trying to help you out here, guys. Here we go. Have a safe place outside the bank to store a reasonable amount of currency called gold and silver. Makes sense, huh? Don't put it in a bank because the bank will be nationalized by the government and your stuff will be gone. One day you'll go to the bank and there will be a soldier there with a AR-15 and says, no can do, and the ATM machines won't work. Become less U.S. dependent by holding assets overseas and or having a plan to evacuate to another country. Yeah, hate to say it. Hate to say it. Have a plan to get away, someplace safe. That's right. Because when this disaster happens in this country, if you ain't got a place to go that's safe, you're going to die. That's what's going to happen. You're not going to live long. Because can you imagine 300,000 armed Crips and Bloods and MS-8, MS-13 and gang members infiltrating San Diego, San Francisco, San Jose, Fresno, Sacramento, Los Angeles, Bakersfield? Can you imagine that? You think they're going to be too kind to you? Think they're going to be nice? They won't. And there won't be enough Army and National Guard because they're going to have to protect their families too. Okay? So the police aren't coming. Keep a 7 to 10 day supply of cash, medicines, food, water, and guns and ammunition. When you got a gun and you got some bullets, then you got some water and you got some food. It's that simple. That simple. You can't have enough money in your pocket to buy someone's gun and ammo when we have an economic disaster and crash. Sorry, you won't be able to get it. But if you got guns and ammo, you can put a gun to somebody's head, pull the trigger, and take what you need. I'm just talking straight talk because ain't nobody coming to help you. There ain't no 911. There ain't no 311. There ain't no National Guard. Okay? Number 4. Find a way to get to any of the 50 or so places in this country that have real concentrations of wealth. See, you want to go to a place that has wealth, and there's a reason for that. Because you want to be around those that have wealth because they will have the protection and security. Number 5, review your critical documents. 6, do not hold any bonds. 7, be cautious buying life insurance. It won't be worth anything it's written on. 8, own your own asset-light business. And 9, focus your stock investing on trophy assets and capital-efficient businesses. See, these are some of the tips to survive. Because you see, if you want to start talking about cataclysmic things happening, forget the protests in the street. That's baby food. Economic disaster could happen at any moment. You're straight on the point. The world according to Torero. It's me, Jesse T. Can't help but being who I am. Be ready, be prepared, be able, and be willing to take advantage of the situation that you have in front of you and have what you need to protect yourself and your family forever. The Brown Beauty's off duty. See ya!